The Apple IIc and words.
You know, used to be I could barely type 150 words a minute. Still, it did get me in the Guinness Book of Records. Now I can do nearly 200 words a minute with my Apple IIc. And it's so smart that it even can check to see if I made any mistakes. Lots of luck, little fella.
The Apple IIc. There's no telling how far it can take you.
Oh, excuse me. Where did you grow up, in the woods?
Some things fall off my pizza, but that's only because it's got so much stuff on it, and I'm losing my balance.
I stole his cheese while he wasn't looking. Pizza raid. Use noise to disorient your opponent. That way you can get more of his stuff on your pizza.
Maybelline asks, what do you want to say about yourself today? You're a superstar. Say it in blooming colors. You're just one of the girls. Say it in blooming colors. You're complex and serious. Say it in blooming colors. That you never want to grow up. Say it in blooming colors, shadows. Colors that say who you are, how you're feeling, what you're all about. Whether you want to express your style or express your love. Say it in blooming colors by Maybelline.
This Turbo Crew has a plan, and they begin by digging into those 2 scoops of plum juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Cooked up and in command, they're working now, but they're thinking how they love 2 scoops and golden flakes of bran. 2 scoops, they're turning back again for 2 scoops of plum juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Now with even more raisins, even harder to resist.
This Sunday, Evergreen explodes into passion and mystery. Anna's grandson will discover a secret so forbidden it was buried with his father. A truth so astonishing he will become the subject of a long and cold custody battle that Anna and Joseph will lose. A truth that years later will lead him to the war of his nightmare and the woman of his dreams. Evergreen, the television event. LA Magazine says Evergreen has everything going for it. Beginning this Sunday, Evergreen.
I'm Tom Brokaw. The children of Chowchilla, 9 years after they were kidnapped, the nightmare is not over. A special report tomorrow on NBC Nightly News.
The Breakfast Club is definitely the best in its class, says Joel Siegel, Good Morning America. It is a cinematic breath of fresh air, according to Gene Siskel, Chicago Tribune. Entertaining, effective, and strong, with excellent acting. William Wolfe, Gannett Newspapers. The Breakfast Club.
Demented and sad, but social.
Rated R. Now at select theaters. Check newspapers for locations and showtimes.
The GE 2800 dishwasher. It does almost everything but clear the table. GE, we bring the things to life.
Dristan versus Contact against sinus, cold, pain, and congestion.
I'll take Dristan.
Contact. Dristan has an extra medicine Contact doesn't to relieve more sinus, cold symptoms.
I feel better, but I still hurt. No congestion or pain with Dristan.
Dristan for more sinus, cold relief.
You get a headache fighting a fire. You want something strong.
Anacin, 23% more medicine than regular pain relievers.
Headache's gone. And no stomach upset.
Anacin, more medicine.
Remember the taste of s'mores? Now it's in new s'mores granola bars.
1, 2, 3, 4, remember the taste of s'mores. It's in new s'mores granola bars, new s'mores granola bars.
Grand chocolate marshmallow and more. Remember the taste of s'mores?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Remember the taste of s'mores?
Buy Ralston brand s'mores in the month of March and help earn thousands of dollars for Campfire Boys and Girls. Details in magazines and newspapers or at your store.
This is the gentlest way to color your gray without changing your own color. This is color without peroxide. Color that washes out gradually, not noticeably. Color
bounces with new body and shine. Loving care, lotion or mousse, the gentlest way to color your gray.
Why don't you wash that gray right out of your hair?
And keep your color.
If I'm feeling mellow, I just want cheese and tomatoes. If I'm feeling attractive, I say put on some pepperoni, you know? If I'm feeling wild and crazy, I just tell the guy behind the counter, throw it all on. My.
Introducing extra sugar-free gum from Wrigley's.
Extra flavor, extra fun, it is sugar-free gum.
Extra Wrigley's new sugar-free gum with NutraSweet gives you extra refreshing flavor that lasts an extra long time.
Extra flavor for that extra long trail. Extra flavor for that extra long sail. Wrigley's Extra, the extra fresh flavor lasts an extra long time.
Try extra sugar-free gum from Wrigley's.
Highway to Heaven was never like this.
What kind of lousy angel are you anyway?
Bob Hope angers a higher power.
Oh, God!
When he lampoons television. They will meet at the dawn of a new era. Together, they'll share a great love story and countless dreams that will grow into a loving family. But something will happen. In this house, up these stairs.
Do not force me to do this. Do not force me to do this.
The secret that will change their lives forever. The unforgettable 6-hour NBC world premiere miniseries based on the runaway bestseller, Evergreen, this Sunday.
Dad, which side does Crispix cereal the crispiest, the rice or the corn?
The corn, son.
How do you know, Dad?
Because we're from Iowa, son.
I think the rice side is the crispiest.
Hogwash.
But Crispix is supposed to be good and crispy on both sides.
Both sides are real crispy. Tasty, too. But around here, everybody knows which side is the crispiest.
The rice, definitely.
The rice.
Kellogg's Crispix is crispy times 2.
It's so full of simmered in flavor, lifted rice and sauce. Tastes so good.
Delicately seasoned sauce simmered inside in just 10 minutes. Lipton rice and sauce. Delicious.
So full of simmered in flavor.
You are what you eat, so you better eat light. Wishbone Light. Light on oil. Not on taste. You are what you eat, so you better eat light. People who eat light.
Wish for Wishbone Light.
When you and your family come to Florida, come to Busch Gardens, Tampa, and spend a day in Africa.
All the best South Africa on the west coast of Florida. All the best South Africa on the west coast of Florida.
Busch Gardens, Tampa.
Do you want to buy a phone? It's cheaper than AT&T.
What you really need is cheap long distance.
And of course, our business systems are cheaper than AT&T.
Everyone's saying they're cheaper than AT&T, but nobody's saying they're better. All they can say is that they're cheaper, to which we say, you get what you pay for. Whether it's telephones, long distance, information systems, or computers, AT&T.
Don't miss this exclusive interview with Bruce Springsteen, only on Friday Night Videos. And Eddie Murphy hosts Saturday Night Live in a late-night superstar weekend.
1982, Diet Coke is introduced with a one-of-a-kind taste. 1983, Diet Pepsi reformulates its taste. But Diet Coke beats Diet Pepsi in taste tests across America. 1984, Diet Pepsi reformulates again to 100% NutraSweet. But Diet Coke with 100% NutraSweet beats Diet Pepsi again. 1985, Diet Coke is still one of a kind, still number one. And you are going to drink it just for the taste of it.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Penacoli. Coming up on Eyewitness News Nightcast, a shocking discovery forces the closing of a Delaware County grade school. And tonight, angry parents meet face-to-face with school board members to get some answers. Also tonight, hundreds of Vietnam vets looking for answers in their fight to battle one of the war's deadliest killers, Agent Orange. Plus, there is a new controversy surrounding the terrifying events at 3 Mile Island. Tonight, we'll bring you pictures from inside one of the reactors. Those stories, plus more on the possible sale of the Eagles tonight, right after Hill Street Blues.
What do you want to start your day? When you want it bad, you want it right away. AM/PM's got coffee in a new jumbo-sized cup. It's a big 20-ouncer. It'll perk you up. It's the Jumbo Java fresh from the bar at 39 cents because it costs a lot. So if you want it now, you want it hot. Remember, AM/PM is the spot. You want it, we got it. AM/PM Mini Markets.
When the
Welcome, everyone. Oh, man. Yeah, Cherry's in the chat being a smartass for a change. So I figured I would let you all read those credits. Oh, man. So it's good to see you guys. Happy Sunday. Oh, my goodness. And a happy belated Veterans Day. Thank you all who are veterans for your service. And if you have loved ones, thank them for me. Appreciate it. Cherry, we all love you. Oh, man. So yeah, we're gonna have a little fun tonight. We're gonna go over a couple of things. Yeah, I mean, normally I had said I lied before, and I said that I was gonna stop covering Cuck Church, unless he like talked about crime cases. But these Cuck Church isms that he keeps dropping are just fucking gold. So I can't help it. I can't help it. And some of you guys don't know who his name is actually Ryan Upchurch. Some of you guys may not know who he is. Ryan Upchurch is a pretty famous singer-songwriter. He's like a poor man's Jelly Roll. And you could say that now because Jelly Roll is nominated for a Grammy, I think. He just won an award for the at the CMAs. So Cuck Church is officially a poor man's Jelly Roll, basically. And so his name's Ryan Upchurch. He's semi-famous country rap. Put them together, crap star. basically, the type of fan base that Cuck Church has developed, the type of fan base that Cuck Church has obtained, I would say, are the type of people who sell stolen catalytic converters for a career. I think that's the best way I could put that. That's, if I had to sum up what I picture Cuck Squad members are stolen catalytic converter salesmen, basically. Oh my God, this gummy hasn't even kicked in yet, folks. We're gonna have some fun. It's gonna be silly. So let's just get right into it, because I ain't got a goddamn night, people. All right.
You know, one of the most fascinating things I can say I've experienced with this job that I have in this line of work is the way you get to observe and see different sides of human behavior. And I think most of the bizarre human behavior we're seeing now is because of the side effects of the internet. If you ask me, the internet and the World Wide Web was made for something besides learning stuff. Definitely something more than learning stuff.
I'm listening.
Definitely more than even.
Right, Charlie? Oh, come on, you're gonna be fair. Hear this. Stop.
This is World Wide Web. What happens when you get in a web? You get stuck. Internet. What happens when you enter a net? You're stuck. I don't expect it to be made for learning or giving anybody knowledge, since it has so much false on.
Okay. My man, listen, they call it they call it the web because things are woven together. It's information that is woven together. Same as why they call it the internet, not because you get caught in it and you can't get out. Oh my goodness, dude, just fucking home. That's it. That's all you got to do. Close the laptop. You know, that's it. That's all you got to do. It's pretty easy. But go on.
On purpose, wrong knowledge. I mean, think about it. With everything that gets promoted, everything that pops up in front of your face on accident, even though you're like, what the fuck? I would never look that up.
Well, he can't outsmart me because I'm a moron.
Images, entering your imagination. It alters how you think, how you feel, everything. Now, if it was about money, like we said before, if this was designed for money, then why does it try to make you feel? And
basically, everything man-made is designed for money in some way, shape, or form. In some form or fashion, anything that is man-made is designed to make money in some way.
And act a certain way that is not good for you. Don't you think a country full of happy, flourishing people would make way more money than one that is tearing itself apart?
Yes. Thank you so much, VCaser, for becoming a member. Welcome to Logic. Yeah, and so for those of you who don't know, when someone sends a super chat and you see that person dancing, that's his alter ego. It's him. Okay. And he always dances for you guys when you guys send super chats. That's always him, in case you were wondering.
Art because of what? Internet. Internet is attached to a lot of shit. I mean, it's attached to you every day of your life. Me, every day of my life, in our pocket, right beside the pocket that holds your wallet. That's why your phone's listening to everything you say.
Whoa.
This, you're like, fuck, I really do need this. It's because it knows you. It knows how to pickpocket you. If it can still...
So, yeah, man. So basically, the internet is designed to be in a device that you put in your pocket because your pocket is next to another pocket that holds your money holder. Okay, your money money collectible thingy bob called a wallet. Okay,
steal your money, it can steal your thoughts. If it can steal your money and steal your thoughts, then it can choose your personality.
If it can steal your money, it can steal your thoughts. I had no idea. That shit is just crazy. I mean, this whole time, my thoughts, this entire time, my thoughts have been extracted from my mind every time I pay for Taco Bell. Because, I mean, Taco Bell, they're stealing your money, basically. So every time, like, I walk into a Taco Bell, there's some sort of system that's extracting my thoughts. Okay.
If it can choose your personality, it can alter or change your friend group. If it can change your friend group, it can alter your belief system. And last but not least, if it can alter your belief system, then it can take faith away from you. So you have zero faith in yourself, which causes mass depression. Not only mass depression, but people having anxiety because their social skills drop because no one's talking to each other how they should. And even if your social skills didn't drop, so many out here has dropped that the ones who still have great social skills really have no fucking body to talk to. Now, think about this sentence.
What?
People used to be social and network until social media network. Ain't that a crazy sentence? It is. So when you take that...
It's absolutely insane because it doesn't make sense. That's why it's a crazy sentence. So, okay. Just hold on, because I got to hear that one more time because I can't believe
it. To talk to. Now, think about this sentence. People used to be social and network until social media network.
Okay. The internet. Okay. The internet is a thing now and relied on by virtually every human on the planet because it is proven to be the most useful networking tool in history. In the history of everything, in the history of technology, in the history of mankind, it is proven to be the most resourceful tool for networking. Okay, Ryan, and I think you know this. I think you know this because what I find really funny is, see, Ryan has over 3 million subscribers. Ryan is very rich. You could see the background here in his house. It's a very nice little quaint house. I don't know how little it is, but you could see all that property that he's on. That's his. So, and the reason why Ryan was able to obtain these things was because he networked on the internet. Yeah. Ryan, what are you talking about, dude? Like you don't put physical CDs out. You don't put physical records out. You don't sell your music out of a trunk of a car or even a record store. You sell your music on the internet, because you doing this video right here, this, you up here doing what you're doing right here, that's called you networking, and you're using the internet to do it. Wow.
Ain't that a crazy sentence? It is. So when you
Yeah.
take that into consideration,
Coming from you, yeah.
and you take the fact that no one really talks to each other with words anymore, and there's a lot of people who don't have good vocabulary or don't know the vocabulary.
I'm surprised he was able to think of the word vocabulary.
They're even talking. Then in the future, how could there ever be men or women of their word? There can't. They're making words not matter. They're trying to replace words with numbers.
What?
So in the future, there is no man of their word. There's only man of numbers. That's it.
Man
and
of
if
numbers.
you are a man or woman of your word, what did they do? They shove words in your mouth. It's not your words in the first place. There was someone else's idea of words that you could possibly say. So then a man of his word loses the credibility of his word because of something he didn't say, metaphorically speaking, which leads me back to the money thing. I know some people's going to be like, well, no, it definitely is about money, church. Maybe a little bit, but it's also about something else, because there's a weird...
It's absolutely about money. Dude, I just explained. You make your money by using the internet. If you didn't have the internet, you would be selling copies of your CDs, burned ones, out of the trunk of your car, like people were doing in the 90s or in the early 2000s. It happened all the time. I couldn't walk down a street in Miami without someone trying to sell me their music. An independent rapper, 90% of the time, trying to sell me one of their CDs. This was a very common thing. This is exactly what you would be doing if the internet wasn't a thing right now.
Error in human behavior that is happening, which lets me know that money is not the only thing. Numbers is not the only thing. And here's what it is. If that's the case, why is there this weird error where people who are in fact barely making ends meet are on the internet with a persona acting rich and wealthy to get rich and wealthy when they are in fact not rich and wealthy? That is an error. Because think about it. If you're barely making ends meet
not an error,
and you're playing a character that is rich and wealthy to get rich and wealthy, where is that going to be? Persona acting rich and wealthy to get rich and wealthy when they are in fact not rich and wealthy. That is an error. Because think about it. If you're barely making ends meet.
That is not an error, dude. That is not an error. There are timeless terms that explain that counter explain what you're saying, such as fake it till you make it, such as in order to be successful, one must present an image of success at all times. It works. It's a good marketing tool to look as though you are already successful. For everything like that sells records. Everything like that sells products. Are you fucking kidding me? Like every rap artist that you grew up listening to, their videos were on a yacht with a bunch of beautiful women around, or in a very fancy club with a bunch of beautiful women around, or in a fancy house with a bunch of beautiful women around. This is the image of success, and it sold records. Unreal. This dude is killing me right now. His logic is fantastic.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad. I think we got.
BC, thank you so much. He is setting the tone of his legal defense. The evil and addictive internet made me do it. Exactly. I heard. Thank you so much, BC. I heard that his attorney filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit from Kylie Rodney's family. I don't know if that's true or not. And I don't know if the judge approved it. And I was trying to think, well, where I heard it from was Down the Rabbit Hole News. I didn't watch her live on it. I just saw her thumbnail and title, but she's pretty reliable. So I would assume that that's probably true. And so I wonder if the judge dismissed it or not. But there's still the pending lawsuit from Ickadmel. And I'm looking forward to that. Now, yeah, that right. It's pretty standard. No reply from the court yet. Okay. Thank you, Anam. So that's a pretty interesting theory there, BC. It's an interesting theory. I don't know. I mean, I think he was doing that a few videos back, but I think that he's just an idiot, spends a lot of time alone, you know, like there's people where it's good for them to spend a lot of time alone. You know what I mean? Because they're intelligent and capable of critical thinking and logic and rationality. They're capable of these things. This is not someone who is clearly. I think honestly that he just spends way too much time by himself. Probably indulges in some sort of stimulant medication, prescribed or otherwise. And I think that he thinks that he is much smarter than he is. And it's just fascinating to me because this is the thing, is he has, like I said, this fan base. This interesting fan base that I could see just by listening to him, the type of fan base that he attracts. And I happen to know for a fact that he attracts this type of fan base because I've had my interactions with them on several occasions in the past. And they are not what I would consider intelligent people. Now, I'm not saying every person who listens to Ryan Upchurch is stupid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the people who came at me and decided to spam my chat, who were fans of his, had the worst grammar. I mean, it was just, it was a given right off the bat. They were going to have bad grammar right off the bat. They didn't make any sense. They had no insults that could ever cut deep. It was just very, it was just like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. You know, these are the 3 million out there that he managed to pull in to his little atmosphere. So yeah.
It's me, and you're playing a character that is rich and wealthy to get rich and wealthy. Where is that going to end you? In the end, it's going to leave you barely making ends meet because you were the artificial rich and wealthy, not the natural rich and wealthy. So that leads me to ask you this. When you're playing a character to get rich and wealthy when they are, in fact, not rich and wealthy, that is an error. Because think about it. If you're barely making ends meet and you're playing a character that is rich and wealthy to get rich and wealthy, where is that going to end you?
It's going to end you rich and wealthy. What are you talking about, dude? This guy, sometimes I wonder if he's just trolling everybody, dude. Like, Ryan, dance while I ponder this.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Okay. Mr. Harlan's Tales of History's Famous Burglars. Thank you, buddy. I would recommend Dictionary and Go Back to School. Upchurch Can't Speak. No, he cannot. No, he cannot. I mean, he's something else, this guy. Absolutely something else.
I'm retarded?
You said it, Cuck Church, not me. This dude is he just said, okay, I'll play that one more time. He just said that if you're an actor playing a character that's playing the rich and you're trying to get rich and wealthy from playing that character, at the end, where does that end up if you're playing that character? Well, I mean, if it's on an Oscar-winning movie,
rich and wealthy to get rich and wealthy, where is that going to end you? In the end, it's going to leave you barely making ends meet because you were the artificial rich and wealthy, not the natural rich and wealthy. So that leads me to ask you this question.
But if I starred in a movie as a poor guy, like me, poor as fuck, and then somehow I decided to audition for a movie and then I got this big break, right? And they're like, we think you'd be great. Your poor ass would be great to play this filthy rich guy, right? Blair, we want you to play Mr. Beast in a movie, right? So, okay. And then the movie just does super well, right? Movie does amazing. Big fluke. Like less than like a bigger fluke than the Stallone fluke. Stallone wasn't a fluke. You know what I mean? But he got loaded rich from Rocky. You know? They wanted to sell him the screenplay. They wanted him to sell the screenplay. He refused to. Said, "This role is for me. I need to star in it." And then it won Best Picture that year when it came out. So, but if that were to happen, no, I don't watch Mr. Beast. I tried to recently, but I just couldn't relate to anything that was going on. But he's a really nice guy. He actually commented on one of my videos once. I swear to God. He commented on one of my videos. I was like, what? Okay. And it was definitely him. He was just really nice. He just put nice content or something like that. Maybe he was being a sarcastic dick, you know, who knows? But I just threw out a rich YouTuber out there. That's what I was doing. So, but if the movie does well and I become rich and wealthy, I don't become artificially rich and wealthy. I become actually rich and wealthy. Like, because they paid me to play this role so well. You know what I mean? Like, I was poor. Now I'm not. It's kind of awesome. What's artificial about that?
Viewer, in time of need, and if your life depended on it, are you going to follow a man of their word or a man of their numbers? Because let me tell you this, a man of their word has shut their mouth and listened to many other men's words. A man of numbers is going to see you as taken away from their number. And that ain't good for you.
What?
Since we were kids, we've been told what? Knowledge is power. I know somebody out there remembers watching Schoolhouse Rock. I don't think knowledge is power. I think time to observe is power. If knowledge was power, then the fuck's going on? Because here's all the knowledge, right? It's in your pocket. I know.
Okay. Knowledge isn't power, according to Cuck Church. Right? Knowledge isn't power. The time to observe is power. Why am I taking time to observe? Like, I wish I was sitting in front of them and have this conversation. Be like, but what? Aren't I taking time to observe? Isn't the purpose of me observing to obtain knowledge? So, I mean, why the middleman? You know, knowledge is power. So, what do you mean? Time to observe. The time to observe is the power. But wait a minute.
Know what you're thinking. Yeah, there's a lot more stupid motherfuckers to have all the knowledge in your pocket. Well, that's because they're chasing sense instead of remaining with their common sense. It's a different sense, different form of sense to get rid of your senses. So then what? Wow. Well, now the higher up people who understand every
What the
fucking
fuck are you
part
talking
of
about?
common sense, which is why they're able to do and implement things in society to change your common sense. It's because they understand common sense. So they're taking people's common sense away to chase the sense, like money. And what do people do for it? Lie, steal, backstab. Now you see why everyone on the internet who has common fucking sense and just says what they want are the ones getting canceled. The ones they're trying to erase.
No, it's because they do fucked up shit like you did. Like, I mean, yeah. Now there is somebody in his house right now that is working on these theories, because obviously he's being watched by the internet people. We're gonna go to his correspondent, his partner in the house. Here we go.
Trace the signal.
Oh my goodness. And then we got we got the other guy in the other wing of the house. Hold on.
Okay, smartass. Let's see what this mystery's all about.
All right, let's listen to him wrap this up.
They don't want any men of words.
No men of words.
Fucking words. Which is why men and women of their words on here, what happens to them? Well, the number man comes.
They talk. They talk on the internet. They make fun of you. That's what they do. I'm a man of words.
And he makes sure
y'all
down so your words aren't as loud anymore. Because if they're not as loud anymore, then no one will hear you enough to fucking gain their common sense back for themselves.
What is going on, dude?
Themselves and their community. You know what I think all this is? I think we're an experiment of experience and an exhibit or example of expedition and exploration.
What?
Church sermon. Their community. You know what I think all this is? I think we're an experiment of experience and an exhibit or example of expedition and exploration. Church sermon is over. Boy.
Boy. Wow. I'm fucking blown away. I am fucking blown away. I mean, that was some deep logic right there. That was some sweet, deep logic. Thank you, Cut Church, for that. Wow. So
Where do you get these fucking idiots, huh? Where do you get them?
Don't look at me, man. I don't know. So one thing that was actually very, very funny. Well, it's not funny. It's the title of this whole thing, but it's not funny exactly. But making fun of him is fun. But this is a guy who people have compared Turtle Boy to. So we're gonna kind of get into more or less. I've already covered a little bit as to why he's nothing of the sort. Because people are on the internet as well calling me a hypocrite, going, "Oh, Turtle Boy's the same thing as JLR," and I'm like, no, they're not. They're not even close. And we'll go over a little bit of this guy here, so that it's quite enlightening here. So the thing is with this guy, what he's doing is he is streaming, and his title is Candace Wells arrested, or Candace Bly arrested, whichever name that he put there. But that is the mother of missing 7-year-old, 5 at the time, Summer Moon Utah Wells, who went missing 2 years ago in June 15th. So now, this guy has this guy's history is, I'm not going to get into the whole history for those of you that are new to the channel. But he's kind of famous, but he's famous for filing insanely frivolous lawsuits while he was in prison. He went to prison for some sort of fraud. I'm not sure exactly what fraud. And then while he was in prison, he filed a bunch of like frivolous lawsuits against like the most insane examples of subjects, of defendants, which were like Nostradamus. He filed lawsuits against inanimate objects like Mount Everest. That's just a drop in the bucket. Yeah, I know I'm buffering. I can't help it. Hold on a second. I'm back. So hopefully I'm not buffering anymore. I knew I was buffering, but my internet signal is very weak. I can't really do anything about it. I'm plugged directly into the router. There's nothing I can do about it. It happens where I live from time to time because I'm in the middle of nowhere. So Yeah, I do apologize for that, but it is what it is. Now, so he filed all these lawsuits. Then, he joined these idiots that called themselves Heels on the Ground, which is really funny because it's like a play off a fashion term, right? So so it's just made up of like Bullshit Betty, Molly Golightly, and Chronicles of Oblivious, and and this guy, he was the only male in the group. He was the only male in the group, and they called it Heels on the Ground. And what they were doing were they basically were like, we're just going to show up to towns where there's an open true crime case, and we're just going to make a bunch of noise and try to get on TV, which is exactly what they did. But in doing so, they got parents of this missing child, Summer Wells, fired from their job because of their actions and everything that they were doing to harass them. And not just them, a bunch of other YouTubers are doing it too. But this is a guy who continues to dox them every time they try to move away and leave. He finds them and then reveals where they're living to the public. And the thing about this is some people are saying, well, Turtle Boy, he'll do similar shit. Well, the difference is Turtle Boy's not doing it to the parents of a missing child. And Turtle Boy has revealed damning evidence that something is terribly wrong. So this is much, much different. Okay. Turtle Boy has actually done investigating. This guy doesn't investigate anything. What he considers investigating is doing a deep dive dox on a person. And if he finds anything that looks damning, he will deem that person that he's looking for and digging information on, he will deem them guilty of a crime that in some cases we don't even know took place. Right now, we just have a missing little girl. There's no evidence against her parents at all whatsoever that they did anything, that they have done anything or had anything to do with their child's disappearance. Now, is their behavior on the internet absolutely questionable? For sure. But none of it indicates that they did anything to their child. Not even, and I don't care what anybody says, the fact that their other kids were taken away. But there's a lot of people who are unfit parents, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they did something to their child. So until you show me evidence, whether I like these people or not, unless you show me definitive evidence that leads me to believe that they did this to Summer Wells, then I am not about to accuse the parents of a missing child of the most horrible crime that you could think of. Because if you're wrong and you're doing that, you are harassing people who are going through the worst thing that they could ever go through. And I just refuse to have that. I would rather be wrong about someone's innocence than be wrong about their guilt. Because if I'm wrong about their guilt and I use this platform and I start spewing that stuff, it entices people to do things. And people have called these people. They have, bring them on, and then they take whatever they say and twist their words. And these people are annoyingly addicted to the internet, okay, to YouTube. It's actually quite irritating because they're the parents of a missing child, but rarely do they use the platform to spread information about her. It's normally caught up in YouTube drama, and they always go on the channels that are accusing them of doing something to Summer. And so, but the thing is, after 2 years of them doing this habitually, they have never slipped. We're talking they have done other things to slip up, But I mean, and Don will admit to the weirdest, craziest things sometimes and blurt out things out of anger all the time. But he has never even slipped about Summer, which just tells me these people are not very smart. This is a guy who was on probation and he got arrested for violating his probation because he had a gun and he was drinking and driving. And he had a gun. Now, who on probation does that? I'll tell you, somebody who's not very smart. So you're going to tell me that this guy who's never slipped but doesn't have enough sense to not get behind the wheel of a car of a small town with a gun while he's on probation, you're going to tell me that this guy committed the perfect crime and has never slipped up? Never. Managed to outsmart the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, as well as the Federal Bureau of Investigation. You're going to tell me that this guy is the mastermind, or him and or his wife are the masterminds of one of the most baffling cases that anybody's talked about in the true crime world on YouTube, because there's nothing at all to indicate what happened to Summer. At least nothing tangible. So this guy is one of those people who every time they move, they have to move because of him and other YouTube creators like him. And he'll find out where they are and he'll travel out there and knock on their door, doxing the address. And to me, to compare someone like Turtle Boy, who actually dug up evidence that at least an investigation has been mishandled, that they should not even be moving forward with these charges. That they should not even be moving forward with these charges, considering what what I've discovered here just in the investigation. That's completely different. And he's taking on cops, you know? And he's showing evidence. The reason why Turtle Boy has so many people rallying behind him is because he's putting stuff out there that makes it painfully obvious that there's something wrong in Canton. He doesn't just write about it. He finds the shit and he puts it out there. Just recently, he just fucking put out a wedding video where you see the McCabe's and the Proctors hanging out together, and the wedding's from like 2012 or some shit. And the McCabe's and the Proctors are sitting at a table together, dancing. Like, after they said that they didn't know each other. This is what you call definitive proof. This is not, I'm just throwing mud at, I'm potentially besmirching the name of cops. That's not what he's doing. That's not what I'm gathering he's doing. What I see Turtle Boy doing is like going, okay, I found this, and look at this motherfucker right here. How do you dispute that? These people are fucking liars. And based on their lies and the information that he collects, he will give his theories that are also his opinions, meaning he has the right to them. What JLR does is just pure harassment. This is the difference. Wow. Share the screen. because I ended up. There we go.
Hello. Hello. JLR Investigates. Come on in. Got the media badge going. Got the fresh cup of coffee. We're going to talk about.
I mean, this guy walks around like that, wearing a press shirt and a press hat. Like, he walks around like this. This guy is an unbelievable tool. He is. This guy is yeah, definitely no Turtle Boy. Very, very fundamental difference between these two.
About Candace Wells and the Summer Wells case. We're going to review Candace Wells's mugshots, her arrest mugshots, and talk about her cases up in Wisconsin.
Now,
why are we?
He titled this thing "Candace Wells Arrested Summer Wells Case." That's the title. You can see it right there on the top. And what does that do? That makes people go, "Oh my God, they got something on her. They got something on her." Pure clickbait. And it's a fucking lie. But this is just his brand of what he does. When he does shady, fucked up shit to people, this is the same MO. Pay attention.
Why are we doing that? Well, because we're talking about the Summer Wells case, and Summer Wells is still missing. And as each day she's missing, it personally aggravates me seeing the behavior of Don and Candace Wells, the parents of Summer. So we're going to talk about Candace, and we're going to share some court records. We're going to share some court records on this channel. Come on in, everyone. Come on in, get yourself a cup of coffee, maybe some popcorn.
Even his cup says media, JLR. Media. He calls himself a gonzo journalist. This he is not. This is a gonzo journalist. This man. He's the father of gonzo journalism. He didn't just write, he investigated. This guy claims to investigate by just going ham on somebody's name in a computer because he thinks that they're suspicious.
Her jaw might drop, might not. We got many mug shots of Candace Wells that we're going to share. We're going to share what's going on with her and her cases up in Wisconsin. And then what is she up to? Because the Don and Candace Wells were spotted at a mall in Kingsport yesterday. And I kind of got irked by it.
Of course you did.
Kind of feel like they're scamming and well, they are scamming. They're scamming and bamboozling everyone about something, bringing awareness to Summer when they clearly themselves know what happened to Summer Wells.
Okay.
So I feel like they're
putting right there in the same breath. In the same breath. So he's saying,
but scamming and bamboozling everyone.
Scamming and bamboozling everyone. Okay. Now he's not there. I mean, maybe I'm not saying they're innocent. I'm saying that it's absolutely the shittiest fucking thing you can do as a true crime creator is to throw accusations at the parents of a missing child or a murdered child. Throw accusations at the parents with no evidence just because you don't like their lifestyle, just because you don't like the way they live. That's not evidence. And that's all he goes by. That or hearsay from people who just want to have YouTube channels. They want to be known. All the neighbors around them have YouTube channels now and are milking this shit. It's nothing. These are all questionable people. Not just Don and Candace, but all of these people are morally questionable. I mean, but there are so many morally questionable people out there that would never do anything to physically harm their child, especially in the worst, the worst, most imaginable way, the most worst imaginable way. I mean, that's not proof. Like, you have to show me proof before I start throwing accusations at a parent. Now, they annoy me because I've had to tell them They've been on this channel, and I've had to tell them, dude, stop going on YouTube channels. This is what you have to do. Because what happened is they always go on somebody's YouTube channel who's trying to get them to slip up on something. They never do. And then they'll take something, whatever they can work with, and twist it. And then use it for content for fucking weeks. This guy doesn't have any content because they haven't been on YouTube doing anything. So he has to just go and do what he's doing right here, which you'll see. This is very fascinating. He's going to show her mugshots, right?
About something, you know, bring awareness to summer when they clearly themselves know what happened to summer.
No.
So I feel
There's
like they're
nothing
putting
clear about that. He's saying that the parents clearly know what happened to Summer. There's absolutely nothing to say that. There's no evidence. We're talking about people who won't shut the fuck up. We're talking about people who won't stay off YouTube channels for the most part. I mean, they have lately, finally. But they won't stop talking to the news whenever there's a news story. Like if there's an anniversary or of the day she went missing or whatever. Or when these idiots show up there and harass them. But, I mean, it's the craziest thing, dude. Like, and so now he doesn't like that he heard that they were at a mall in Kingsport, Tennessee. And that he can't be there right now to harass them and bother them. So this is the next best thing that he can do.
Scam, and they're up to, you know, them, and Tim Mullen was there, and I'll show you pictures. Something is just not right. And, you know, it's at the end of the day, this is summer
that's
rush,
his
right?
That's his evidence. Because he'll fuck up and slip up himself. You know? Something's just not right. That's no reason to accuse somebody of murdering their own child or selling her, whatever the fuck you people have come up with. There's nothing to indicate what happened. She just fucking vanished. Thin air. Nobody saw.
Right? Summer Wells went missing June 15, 2021. We're talking about summer. We're talking about summer, and we're talking about the parents, Don and Candace Wells. This is Summer Wells. This poor child never even had a chance. And it's so sad. TBI is still looking. Hawkins County sheriffs are still looking, and we're still.
Yeah, and what he's doing is using this child's face and the controversial accusations towards her parents as content. He's absolutely 100% exploiting this missing child, and he is what we refer to as a tragedy pimp in this community.
We're still bringing awareness to Summer's situation, right? Candace and Don Wells, lately they've been on this little type of holding banners, going to different locations throughout Tennessee. 2 years later, weren't doing that necessarily at the beginning stages. Might have originally out there by their home, but I think they're playing a con game here. Well, they are playing a con game. Why do I keep saying I think? I think they are. How about say they are? They're playing a con game. But what they're doing is just like, to me, it's like very shocking. But I want to show you.
Notice that so far he hasn't said a fucking word that even indicates proof. Like he's not even talking about it. Like
a list of mugshots of Candace Wells, because I got all the mugshots. I got all the mugshots, folks. All the mugshots.
Now, look at
all
those.
The mugshots of Candace, and we're going to talk about these mugshots, and we're going to talk about these charges. All the mugshots.
Look at
of
how
Candace.
young she is in these pictures. Like this, what he did was he led his listeners, his followers, to believe that Candace Wells was recently arrested. And so everybody jumps on. Total fucking clickbait. And all he's doing is he's using, the lab is a douche. he's another one. And what he's doing here is watch how he explains himself off. Because his chat calls him out on it.
Talk about these mugshots, and we're going to talk about these charges, right? Her arrest charges from Wisconsin, because people need to be aware. And I'm sure authorities are aware of the Wells, as we've heard.
Dude, if I didn't know better already, and this was in a different time, I'd say that this was the inspiration for Pee Wee Herman. I feel like Paul Rubens fucking ran into this guy and was like, oh my God, I know exactly what I'm going to fucking do. I'm going to blow everybody's fucking mind. I feel like in another universe, in another dimension, Paul Rubens ran into this guy and was like, you know what? I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to call him Pee Wee Herman.
Many times by authorities when it comes to the Summer Wells case that the parents are not cooperating. They're not.
Okay.
They're not.
So this happened once, okay? What happened was Hawkins County Sheriff got interviewed. His name is Ronnie Lawson, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson. So Ronnie Lawson gets interviewed by the news, and they asked him if they were cooperating still, if the parents were cooperating. And then he answered no, even though the TBI had said prior to that, and this was after Summer was missing for a year, and Don Wells was in jail for violating his probation. So while he's in jail, so I had Candace here, and I asked her directly. They absolutely deny. I was like, why would Ronnie Lawson say that you guys were no longer cooperating? And she said that sorry, I got distracted by chat there. She was like, I don't know what he's talking about. She goes, I don't know why he would say that. I have no idea why he would say that. Because what Ronnie Lawson said is that they got lawyers and that no, they were no longer cooperating and they got lawyers. And I have no idea to this day why he said that. This was over a year ago. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry about my internet issues, guys. But I mean, I can either end the live or I could just keep talking because you're getting the audio. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This is the best I can do. So, I mean, now, so this guy is, he's quoting that. Him and Josh from the lab always fucking hang on to that one statement from Sheriff Ronnie Lawson. Even though I had them up here and I was just like, I asked Candace, she was like, I have no idea why he would say that. She's like, I don't have a lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer. Candace cannot afford an attorney. There's no way. The only way that they're going to appoint her a court-appointed attorney is if she's charged with a crime. So she's not charged with anything. She cannot afford an attorney. She just can't. These people are dirt poor. So, I mean, it's so they want to cherry pick. They want to cherry pick the fact that he said in that interview they're not cooperating, but won't acknowledge the fact that they don't have attorneys, even though he said they have attorneys now. So they want to just take that one little spot off of that statement, but disregard the other one as if it didn't happen, because the evidence dictates it's been over a year. It's been like a year and a half, almost. And there's no anything of either one of them having a lawyer. Like Don has a criminal lawyer for his charges, right? But not for anything in regards to Summer. There's no reason for it. That's not his job. Unless he's charged with that crime, with a Summer Wells related crime, that lawyer, that court appointed attorney is not going to help him with that. So, you know,
This is Don and Candace Wells yesterday, yesterday. This is Don and Candace Wells yesterday in Kingsport. Through thick and thin, right? And I guess they're holding a picture, and Candace is holding a picture as if what Summer would look like today.
What's going on here is that the movie theater in that mall have these electronic movie posters that you've seen if you've been to the movies in the last 5 years, right? And on these things, they're showing Summer's missing persons poster, right? They're showing Summer's missing persons poster. And oh shit, what's up, Louis? Nerd Report's in the house. And so they're there to show, I mean, the town supports them. That's what's fascinating. The town supports them. And so they showed up, and I guess there was photographs taken because the parents are like very happy with the community putting up and this movie theater agreeing to do that. That's a beautiful thing. I guarantee you that movie theater gets packed quite a bit. And Summer's image and information is right there. And so they're there showing the gratitude for that.
Hey, according to the TBI. Looks like they both got their hair done. It looks like they both got their hair done same colors. But we're not here to make fun of anyone's looks. It's not about that. It's not about bullying. We're not bullying anyone. We're just bringing public.
You don't call accusing parents of a missing child without any evidence bullying. You don't call that bullying. You don't call showing up to their job and calling them baby killers and getting them fired because of the commotion you were making. You don't call that bullying. I mean, dude. And I don't think he does call that bullying. He thinks it's justified.
Public awareness and sharing what the parents are up to, because on this channel, JLR Investigates, we talk about Summer Wells case, and Don and Candace Wells are both part of the story. They're both part of the story. You know, they're actively putting themselves out there again. This time, I don't know if they got to their senses, but to me, I feel like they're playing a big con game. Con game, particularly Don Wells. Don Wells, you know, I'm told, the prime suspect in the disappearance of Summer.
There is no prime suspect. There's no prime suspect. And he wouldn't know that because nothing has ever been said that he's a prime suspect. That's just him saying it. There's never been any press release or any public statement from any law enforcement agent that has publicly stated that Don Wells is the prime suspect in Summer's disappearance. We don't even know what happened to Summer. Somebody could have absolutely abducted her. I mean, a lot of things could have happened. Something could have happened to her. I mean, her mom could have done something. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just saying I'm not going to accuse her of something because I don't believe that she did. You know, I have nothing to indicate to me that she did. You know, I mean, these are people who are very, very are of very low income, And you know, their lifestyle is you know, just the way most of you would not necessarily approve of or even be able to relate to. But the way that they live is not uncommon in low-income households. But there are a lot of low-income households out there, and they love their kids, at least enough not to kill them, you know, or sell them. And there's all the indication in the world that these parents loved Summer. I mean, her mom was always taking TikTok videos of her and posting them, dancing and, you know, being happy, dancing in puddles. She was a happy kid. Everything indicates that she was happy. Tons of pictures taken of her, big smiles on her faces, you know, big smile on her face every time. And it's just, I'm not going to accuse parents. I just won't fucking do it.
And when I see Don Wells like holding banners and going to these, you know, things for Summer, it really irritates me because it's like a guy knowing the outcome already and just playing the part.
Yeah, that's another thing. These people can't win. So they're guilty because they don't do that enough. You know, they're guilty because they don't do enough to put Summer's name out there and put Summer's face out there. You know, they don't do enough. They don't do enough that any parent of a missing child would absolutely do, because everybody's a fucking expert on that. Right? But now this guy's fucking bitching about the fact that they're doing something. This guy's saying it really gets on my nerves to see them out there with a banner for Summer. Like, what?
And just playing the part. And it you know, this stuff, when they do this stuff, trust me, the law enforcement, when they're out there doing little, you know, things for Summer and bringing awareness, and law enforcement is clearly watching them, and everything that they're doing is going to be used against them. It's not going to be looked upon.
And it's been 2 years
by a judge.
That's another thing. It's been 2 years, people. This guy's sitting here going, they're watching everything. It's been 2 fucking years, man. You know what I mean? You don't think that these people, I mean, these look at these people. They are very simple people. As simple as they come. And I don't mean that as an insult to their intelligence. I'm saying they're just simple, you know, small town country folk. It's what they are. And don't you think these are not criminal masterminds? Don't you think that they would have slipped up 2 years later? All the shit that they've been talking, all of the tantrums that they've thrown on YouTube, like, nobody wants to pay attention to that.
Down the line. It's just not. And I know some people out there think that Don and Candace Wells are innocent. This channel, the way we've described...
Again, I want to be very clear. I never said that I think they're innocent. I'm saying I know I don't see anything to indicate that they're guilty. So that makes them innocent until proven guilty. Plain and simple.
You know, I was very open. About 2 years, I jumped into this case. About 4 or 5 months, you know, after Summer went missing, and then just uncovering what I've uncovered, talk to everyone I can possibly talk to, and understanding the behaviors of Don and Candace Wells, and looking Don Wells directly in the eyes shows me guilt. And then I get some verbal and written
That's also a really good
things
point.
about
drunk as fuck. They do these live streams on people's channels trying to fucking crucify them, and they do them wasted drunk, and yet not one slip up. Nothing tangible at all. Nothing.
About Don Wells. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. But yeah, Candace Wells arrested. Numerous cases across the country.
Watch this.
And you know what else is interesting here? And I want to show you this. Look who Candace Wells bumped into yesterday. And I don't know if you know who this is.
No.
But there's another missing.
None of us should be.
Female in the Kingsport area. And this is Candace hugging Layla Santinello's stepmom.
Ah, Brittany. Okay. Yeah. And that's a beautiful, beautiful image right there. That is a beautiful image. I don't give a fuck what this douche says. Seriously. Like, so Layla Santinello is missing as well. And recently, SF Investigates, who I've had on here a couple of times, is a private investigator who's not even on the case anymore, but still took the time to organize a search because he is a certified SAR. And so he took the time and the effort to organize a search for her. And he's been tweeting what they've been doing. I mean, this is what he does. And for these two mothers to show their support for each other I think it's a beautiful, beautiful image.
Pebbles says, I'm sick of this clickbait BS. Then don't watch. Pebbles, hang up.
Somebody hang up. So somebody in his chat called him out. Somebody in his chat called him out for clickbait. Because as you can see at the very top of his screen is a clickbait title. 100%. Because they're like thinking she just got arrested. But right now he's showing, well, no, they were just at the mall. You know, he's showing pictures of them at the mall. So now his chat's onto him going, what the fuck is this? What are you trying to fucking pull here, dude?
Subscribe. We talk about Candace Wells. We're going to talk about her arrest. If you feel it's clickbait, peace out.
No.
I'm trying to say that as kind as possible.
It's more fun to make fun of.
Trying to say that as nothing quite this much in clickbait. I'm seeing clickbait. Candace was never arrested. Oh, yeah? Candace was never arrested, huh? Is that what you're saying? It's clickbait because Candace wasn't arrested? Huh? Are you saying Candace Wells was never arrested? No, we're going to talk about this because we actually never talked about this on this channel. We never went over the arrest charges of what she was been arrested for. But we're going to do that. The Wells sympathizers really irritate me too. Won't watch you ever again, Debbie. Then don't watch. Peace out. You'll be replaced. All you Candace Wells sympathizers, if you don't like it, peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Delicious coffee.
Such a fucking child. You don't like it? You don't like it? Peace out. Peace out. And I'm just gonna drink my coffee. I'm just gonna drink my coffee because I have the right to drink my coffee because it's my coffee. Okay? It's my coffee. Let me see what you fucking idiots are saying in my fucking chat. Hold on. You motherfuckers. You know what? I'm sick and tired of you motherfuckers. coming in here. I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm going to tell my mom. I'm going to tell my mom that you guys are showing up in my chat and I'm trying to enjoy my coffee. And my mom, she works hard. Okay. My mom works hard. And she bought this coffee with her money. She bought this coffee with her money and she made me this cool cup. And I get to drink coffee out of my big boy cup because my mom got it for me. And I'm going to tell her that you guys are being very mean. I'm going to tell her that look, hold on. Who is it? Look it. I told you she got arrested. She got arrested, guys. I told you, but I know. So what if it was like 50 years ago? Who cares? Who cares if it was like 50 years ago? I've told you that she got arrested. It's not clickbait, stupid. It's not clickbait, stupid. If she got arrested 1,000 years ago, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I mean, look at her. And if you don't think that that's a bad person, if you don't think that that person should be stayed after school, then you're a dummy. You're a poo-poo head. And I'm going to make sure to prove that this lady did bad things. Because I'm like a newspaper guy. I'm that. Look, my shirt, it says press. That means that I'm part of the stuff that the people who ask people questions and stuff. That's what I do all over the place. I go all over the place. I dive in and I say, hey, listen, I came to ask you about something and I'm going to hear what I want to hear. I'm going to hear whatever I want to hear.
Same year, right? A month after Summer Wells went missing. And the parents of Michael Vaughn, Brandy, she and her husband went, they stay side by side with Chief Huff of the Fruitland Police Department. Anything updated, interact, the police are standing side by side with the family. And that family is cooperating with authorities, right? But the Wells is a whole different story because Don Wells insists, she was kidnapped without a shred of evidence. And even authorities say, no. Authorities say,
you don't have a shred of evidence against him. The dude was at fucking work. That was confirmed. Like, the guy was at work. His job verified it. What are you talking about?
Say they're not cooperating. They've lawyered up. Boys taken away.
I'd love to hear that, but they've lawyered up. But where are their lawyers? They don't have lawyers. They don't have lawyers.
Don Wells been in and out of jail. Continues. He's having current legal problems himself.
He went to jail.
He has to go back to court in January, by the way. Remember we talked about the other day about his court hearing in Kingsport for not changing over his license. There might be some serious ramifications that might affect his probation right now with Don Wells on that, because it's not just a simple fine of driving without a license. There's a requirement if you're not driving appropriately, you actually have to have a hearing. It's more than just paying the fine itself. So Don Wells had that court hearing continued, or it got continued.
So a traffic
to January.
court
that
hearing.
could have ramifications on his.
Well, shit, man. I guess they got him because he had to go to a traffic hearing. Wait, what is happening right now, bro? Yeah, like fucking traffic court, dude. Like this traffic court, I mean, that says guilty right there.
His probationary aspect and possibly put on probation even again. So, whether he has a license or not, I don't think he can legally drive. Possibly he could drive for job-related purposes only. But remember, when he was inside the jail, and one of the stipulations of his sentencing on the stuff when he got a year in jail was driver's license privileges revoked for a year. Something tells me that he somehow, when he went to Arkansas, he tried to manipulate that process and get an Arkansas license, and maybe one agency doesn't know about the other agencies, and unfortunately that does happen. One state doesn't know about the situation of another state, and got a license there, and then gets pulled over in September back in Tennessee. And, the officer noticed that he didn't change his license back to Tennessee. He really can't, because he doesn't really have a Tennessee license, right?
Oh my God, dude.
So he goes back to court for that. There could be some ramifications of that, but I think it's more or less to try to keep an eye out. They want to
shut up. Oh my God, I don't care.
See him, and they want to keep tabs on Don Wells, because Don Wells seems like he is the factor involved with this whole thing. He says he was working June 15, 2021, the time when Summer Wells went missing, at his job. He says that no one has ever come forward besides him to corroborate what he said. I've talked to Richard Tucker Drywall, who now works as like a commissioner down there in Jonesboro in the district down there, said that the FBI, he's spoken. He wouldn't tell me details, but he told me the FBI has been there with him and discussing stuff numerous times, according to Richard Tucker. Now, Don Wells, what's his alibi? Because not one coworker.
You
said
need
one time he
to
had
shut the fuck up.
7 alibis. I don't believe the 7 alibis at all. I think it's just Don just talking. No one has ever corroborated or stood side by side with Don Wells and said, yeah, Don Wells. He's he was working that day. I think he was probably somewhere back around that home, or came home. He already gave conflicting stories to
idiot. This job fucking verified it. They even took polygraph tests and passed.
media outlets. He said he called 911, loaded up his tools, and then started driving home. Another segment for Dr. Phil, he says that he loaded his tools, started driving. In the course of going home, he called 911. Remember, Washington County is where he worked. No records whatsoever via public records request that we submitted had anything to do. They didn't have any records of any 911 calls. We don't even know if a 911 call was made. I think possibly only Candace or her mom, or one of them, or either or, both of them, were called the actual sheriff's office, not 911. I think Don totally lied, but it's all going to catch up. The problem is you need.
So, I saw what was going on in chat, and I saw this person, and I saw everybody having fun with this person in chat, and it's just an example, because this is apparently a follower of JLR in my chat, just trying to antagonize and troll. But they're very stupid, but it's the caliber of people. This person was just saying, I love watching the numbers drop in chat, but they've gone up. There's more people in here now. I don't understand. You see what I'm saying? These people just see whatever they want, and they hear whatever they want. They just make crazy shit up in their head and then call it evidence. And he didn't even try to, and provided an example for me of his caliber of listener. Like, here I am doing this stream and talking about him, and I have one of his followers in here proving and verifying everything that I'm saying, and it's beautiful.
You need a body. And if you have lack of evidence, lack of blood, or whatever like that, you need a body. But Don has been saying some very egregious scenarios over the years in reference to Summer. That makes no sense. His behaviors, not only around that house with the boys, Summer, Candace, the allegations against Don Wells with his.
Again, see, nobody knows. Nobody knows anything about what life was like other than what they say. Nobody knows what life is like with the boys in the house. Nobody does. Nobody knows why CPS took them away. That stuff is confidential. It's not, you can't FOIA it. You can't obtain that information because minors are involved. So you can't obtain that information. There's no way for him to know what went on in that house. There's absolutely no way. So for all we know, someone failed a drug test, and that's why they took the boys. You know? I mean, there's an infinite amount of reasons as to why those boys were removed from that home. So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about.
Sisters, stepsisters, and family members out in Utah. The pattern of Don Wells is horrible, people. And I feel at the end of the day, I feel very bad about Summer Wells. And it really gets to me. It really gets to me because I feel like.
So here's the thing. And this is a true story. So for those of you who don't know, the TBI, again, like a year and a half ago, the TBI publicly stated in a press conference in regards to this case that the reason why they have no credible leads, that they have nothing as far as the Summer Wells case goes. The reason why is because of social media. Now, she didn't specify YouTubers. The spokeswoman for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation did not specify YouTubers. But this is the social media that's talking about the case the most. And what they're talking about is rumors and speculation. And this guy spinning and spreading rumors and speculation is interfering directly with an investigation to find a missing 7-year-old girl who went missing when she was 5. So this seems to just, they don't care. These people who continue to do this, they just don't care about that's. They want to say, they would just want to ride on the weird statement that Sheriff Lawson made about not cooperating and lawyering up when they don't have lawyers, you know. So why he would say that, I have no idea. But the TBI spokesperson for the TBI says that the reason why they have no credible leads is because of people like this who spin rumors and speculation. And the rumors, what happens is idiots end up thinking that they're, you know, sleuths, and they're trying to gain some sort of clout. And so they think that they're going to crack the case. And what they do is they end up calling the TBI hotline with their bullshit. And the thing is if it comes off as if it's a tip, they have to follow up on it. Now, the Hawkins County is, they only have so many resources. They have very limited resources. So when all this time that they have to follow up on a tip is very, very limited. So the resources and the time put into following all of these bullshit tips keeps them from following anything and doing any real police work towards the goal of finding Summer, because they're steered this way and that way on a constant basis. And it's because this guy's idiot listeners are thinking that they've cracked the case and they're going to call, and this guy doesn't care because they pay him. They give him money.
Like, these people are getting away with it. They're getting away with it right now. I think they're bamboozling people, and it makes me sick to my stomach when I see them holding banners for Summer Wells. It makes me sick because clearly Don Wells knows.
No, not clearly. There's nothing clear about it. We're talking about an insane person's observations right here. This is a guy who has this, if he would not even be put on the stand in any trial because he would be deemed not credible. And the reason why is because he has a history of mental health issues. And he's been institutionalized for these issues. Now, I'm not saying that to make fun of him. I'm saying that the guy's not credible. I'm saying you people in the court of public opinion, all of you people that are paying attention to this, you are on the jury of public opinion. This is the court of public opinion. You all are the jurors. And you would not find, if you were in a courtroom and you were to listen to somebody who has a history of mental health issues, stating things as fact without any proof, well then, he's not going to be considered credible. He wouldn't be a credible witness. Nobody would use him if they knew this about him. So, as the court of public opinion, as jurors of the court of public opinion, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, is this someone's testimony that you would find credible? I think not. No further questions, Your Honor.
He knows. So this is what this is the arrests of Candace. I'm going to share this, and I actually made a video about this. So I'm going to share this information here, and then we will talk and discuss. So check this out. And I made this into like a report. And this was, this was a while ago, but it got me all the arrest records. So I'm just going to play this. So listen up, and then we'll go from there. This was my December 15th, 2021 correspondence with the Burnett County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin in reference to arrest photos of Candace Bly. And
he always does this. Like, he records these totally useless conversations. Like nothing ever happens. Watch. There's going to be nothing noteworthy about this. He's going to request the shit, and then they're going to say how he can do it. And then, or they're going to be like, yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any information for you. This is what always fucking happens. This guy is such a fucking clown.
Arrest affidavits for her crimes that she committed in Burnett County, Wisconsin.
I'm documenting
Amy,
everything.
THIEX with the Sheriff's Office responded to my request. I have received your request for photos. I have attached them and labeled them by custody date. And then here you see 6 files. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I downloaded these files, and if you go into my storage here on my phone, here are the 6 photographs right here. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I guess
4,
you didn't have to speak to
5,
anybody. Okay.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of Candace Bly. Back in her younger days. Scrolling down more. Hi, Amy. Can I get the affidavit of probable cause of each of these 6 arrests of Candace Bly and any other arrest affidavit of probable cause you have of Candace Bly on record, please? Or should I go through the Wisconsin Open Records Law request process to get it? I am a journalist covering the disappearance of Summer Wells in Tennessee, and these arrests records of Candace Bly would be really helpful. Thanks. Jonathan, more correspondence. Thank you, Amy. Much appreciated. Hello. And this is another response. Hello. From them, Burnett County Sheriff's Office. Hello. So I've had a moment to look back on the jail records for Candace, the records where new charges were filed. I'm going to refer you to the DA's office to request a copy of the criminal complaint. I don't have any documents in her booking files back that far that would include a probable cause statement. Going off the booking dates that I gave you, here's what the bookings were for. 8/27/2002, arrest for child abuse, intentionally harm and possession of drug paraphernalia. I can't even say that word, but Burnett County court case 02CM187. Number 2, 12/28/02, arrest for disorderly conduct and recklessly endangering safety, first degree, Burnett County court case CM 17. Number 3, 2/21/03, arrested by Grantsburg Police, disorderly conduct. Number 4, 8. So here, basically what this is here is
disorderly conduct. Now, if you're a thinking person and you're trying to look for anything that might indicate that she would be capable of doing something to Summer, right? To her own daughter, her own 5-year-old daughter. She was always taking pictures of, and she was always smiling in the pictures. So if I'm a thinking person, which I like to think that I am from time to time, these disorderly conduct are not, they don't mesh with someone who would make a child, her own child, disappear without a trace and be able to cover it up for 2 years. Fuck you, Cherry. Yeah, there's nothing to indicate that disorderly conduct.
These are each of the mugshots, right? And these are her arrests, right? These are her arrests. So
like that indicates that she would blurt out things. You know? That indicates to me that she is. Oh, I love these. Blessed mom from Texas. Harassing a mother? She's far from a mother. Will, your channel would do much better if you left people like JLR alone. You have potential. JLR has nothing but rise up. Yeah, he got lucky with the fugitive thing, and he fucking drove his car out there and just fucking filmed cop lights. Now, I never took that away from him, but he was right place, right time, but he's still a douchebag. The bottom line is he's an absolute tragedy pimp. And yes, you don't get to judge whether somebody's a mother or not. None of us do, because we don't actually know them. We don't know the circumstances as to which the boys were taken away. We have no idea what actually happened to Summer. We have no idea who's actually responsible. And we do not get to throw stones at people at their parenting without the proper information. Because I wouldn't let anybody do it to you. Nobody here knows you. You don't know them. So it's not fair to trash people as parents without the proper information.
So 8/27/2002, arrested for child, that. You see that word. Intentional harm and possession of drugs. Burnett County. And then a couple months later, arrested for disorderly conduct and recklessly endanger safety, 1st degree, Burnett County. Right? Now, we'll talk about this in a minute, but we're just going to read all these. Arrested by Grantsburg Police, disorderly conduct, 2/21/03. So these are old arrests. However, it paints a picture of who she was back then, because this has a lot to do with her children that she had taken away, her 2 children taken away in Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, she had 2 children taken away. Now it's a continuous pattern, because now she's had 1, Summer's missing, and 2, 3 of her children have been taken away again. So Candace Bly at the time, before she hooked up with Don Wells in Arkansas, she has had a pattern, a continuous pattern of having her own children taken away. This is one reason why I'm confident.
See, that's not, again, now, there was a child abuse charge there. Okay? You play devil's advocate here. There was a child abuse charge there. Okay? So is that something that meshes with the possibility that she did something to Summer? Sure. Absolutely. But it's only a possibility. It's only a possibility. Because again, we don't know the circumstances of the child abuse. We don't know. Maybe she did something that was that was considered abuse, but was done to her by her mom because it was old school, right? And or something happened and it went too far. I don't know, but that's my point. Is just based on a child abuse charge, you cannot judge someone on doing the worst possible thing that is imaginable. So, I mean, again, I need more than that. I need to know the circumstances of what happened. I need to read a police report. And that still isn't proof that she did anything to Summer. Because, again, this was 2002, I think, was the date that I saw for that charge. She was a young mother. Very young. You saw her in those pictures. So who knows? I mean, it's not enough. It might be enough for me to start forming an opinion on her character based on all the other stuff, my experiences with her. Maybe. But I'm still not ready to do that. Because she has a missing child, and I don't know what that's like, and I can't imagine what that's like. I don't know how I would deal with it, so therefore I don't get to judge her on how she deals with it.
That authorities, DCS, and it's DCS, CPS, different names, different agencies, different states, will not give her her boys back. I'm very confident based off the track record, and the track record in her past is very relevant. Number 2 here, let me tell you something about number 2 here. Number 2 arrest here with Candace for disorderly conduct and recklessly endangering safety. What I'm told here in this particular case was CPS was coming to take her children away, and she pulled a shotgun out on them, which Don Wells admitted out of his own mouth, though I don't believe anything Don says in the past. But again, this needs to be talked about.
So maybe, okay, let's speculate on that for a second. Okay. So if that rumor is true, because he's saying that's what they told me. So him sitting there and saying, yeah, I mean, listen, we don't accuse people without evidence in this chat. So I'm just telling you right now, we don't dox people here, and we don't make those accusations here. So you're warned, but if Cherry boots you, don't come whining back with an alt. I don't want to hear it. So the entire thing here is like, let's speculate, right? I'll bite. Okay. So let's say this rumor is true. This rumor, because that's all it is, about CPS showing up to take her kids, and she pulls a shotgun on them. Okay. Let's say it's true. Let's say the child abuse charge could be something as simple as CPS showed up. She pointed a shotgun at the CPS worker and said, "You're not fucking taking my kids." And the kids were probably screaming and crying. And since they were pissed off about having a shotgun pulled out on them, they charged her with child abuse, because that's technically child abuse. Pull a shotgun on somebody, and make them kids see it. That's clearly technically child abuse. If they want to charge it with something, if they're that pissed off about it. But I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying this isn't proof. This is still not proof. We have no idea what the actual story is.
This needs to be talked about. She was arrested in 8/12/03, arrested for disorderly conduct and probation violation. She was arrested 9/15/03, probation violation. She was arrested for a probation violation warrant on 12/12/2004. Let's just read on in what I said here.
12/03, arrest for disorderly conduct and probation violation. Burnett County Court Case 03-CM-436. Number 5, 09/15/03, arrest on probation warrant. Warrant issued for no contact violation. Number 6, arrest on probation warrant. Warrant issued for absconding. The highlighted arrest would have...
So no contact violation. What that sounds like to me is somebody who's desperate to see her children. Because I would imagine that the no contact is because the CPS took the kids. So why would somebody who's willing to risk her freedom to have some sort of contact with her children, why would she deliberately get rid of one much later? That makes no sense. Like I would imagine, I mean, I want to see charges where she abandoned the kids or neglected them. That's what I want to see. You know, like for me to be more convinced of the bullshit that he's trying to spin here. So, I mean, it's just crazy to me that this guy thinks that, like,
criminal complaints at the DA's office. I don't see a court case for number 3. It is
why would
possible
she
that
do
it
that?
was never charged out. That would be the disorderly conduct right here. That it was never charged out. Where are we at? It's possible it was never charged out, but you could check with Grantsburg Police, PD, or DA's office regarding that arrest. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Shut up.
The agencies up there to get in anything in particular. Because, Candace, if she got arrested for doing things, and she got arrested for child abuse. She got arrested for child abuse, folks, in the past. It's very, very scary. Very, very scary. Drugs, child abuse. In the past.
Dude, she's a kid. Look at that. She's a fucking kid.
Remember these faces.
I'm not excusing anything that she did if she did something wrong. I'm not excusing it. What I'm saying, though, is she's a fucking kid. She's a poor kid with kids. Who knows how the hell she was raised? They live out in the fucking middle of nowhere. I mean, who knows what the circumstances were, is all I'm saying. Right, Last Ronin. Exactly.
I feel so bad for Summer Wells at the end of the day.
I feel bad for her, too. I feel bad for her because people like this who spread rumors and spin speculation irresponsibly about an open investigation, tying up resources with their bullshit tips and idiotic theories based on nothing. They're the only hope that Summer has of being found. The only hope that Summer has of being found are the investigators tasked with the responsibility of finding her, of investigating and finding her. And when they say after well over a year, well, no, almost a year, that they, after almost a year of her being missing, that they had no credible leads. And they blame the rumors and speculation on social media for this. And those are the people that Summer has to count on. It's all she has to count on. So yeah, that breaks my heart for Summer. And I hold people like JLR and Bullhorn Betty and MGL, Chronicles of Oblivion, or oblivious. Now there's a clip channel with the same name, but I think she stole that from me because the channel's name is Chronicle of Olivia, and I just call it that. But but this is why. Yeah, and fucking Chris fucking McDonough. I mean, they just used this case, exploited it, got a shit ton of people's fucking heads spinning and making people feel like they're, detectives when they know nothing. And the resources are just so fucking limited, uh, in order to find her. And when they say that this is the reason, yeah, I blame creators just like JLR. All of those other creators that are doing it. Prayer Garden of America is the worst. I mean, she's fucking terrible. She's a fucking evil person. Because she uses like Jesus and God. And she will cuss worse than anybody I've ever heard. She says the filthiest things I've ever heard come out of an old woman's mouth. It's insane. And then she'll pray. These are the kind of people that are fucking up this investigation. These are the kind of people that are making, if Summer's out there alive, which I still have hope that she is. I have no reason to believe she's not, so I have to believe that she is. If Summer's out there and she's alive, and she's scared somewhere, that thought terrifies me, because her only hope in being found is being railroaded by these idiots. So yeah, so I blame JLR for the qualified investigators not being able to get anywhere. I blame Chris McDumbass. I blame Josh from the lab. I blame Prayer Garden. I blame all of these people. Crime Lines and Lies. I blame her too. I blame all these creators that are spinning the narrative that these parents are guilty of a crime that we don't even know took place. So, anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that. But listen, I'm bringing back Drunk True Crime, people. I'm doing it. Okay. So, but it's for Patreon only. All right. So, in the description, there is a link to signing up for Patreon, but we will be doing that. Yeah. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up getting on said evening that this takes place. I'm going to try to have guests join me. It's going to be challenging, but I'm going to try to have guests join me. If not, it'll just be us. And I'm going to get a nice bottle of scotch, and I'm going to go over some historic crime cases. Yeah, but nothing too nasty. I'm not doing like serial killers, because I used to do this a while back, and I was covering serial killers, and it was too much. Drinking and hearing about kids getting murdered in detail was too much. It was just a bad idea. So and then I just laid off Patreon for a long time. But we're gonna find some more lighthearted cases, try to focus on stuff that everyone in the media was talking about, that probably we won't have too many gory details necessarily. Nothing too disturbing. Try to focus on dumb criminals and crazy, fucked up, weird crimes. I'm gonna try to do that stuff, and try to stay away from the gory stuff that involves kids. And yeah, it's too much. I covered Albert Fish, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. If you know anything about Albert Fish, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was like, after that, I was traumatized. But yeah, sign up for Patreon if you are interested in seeing me discuss crime cases, absolutely shit-faced. Some find that entertaining. I have a good time doing it. So hopefully if you are drinking folk, drink with me. You know, we'll have a good time together. It'll be fun. Will, don't get drunk. No, that's the whole point. The whole point is that I'm going to get fucking hammered. Like, and try to fucking discuss a case. it's the whole point. And so I'm going to try to focus. I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do first. I'll think about it. But anyways, guys, you guys are fantastic. Thanks for joining me tonight. I had a good time. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.